Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight I think it's very important. I think it's very important to have a real chat about what's going on with the market. There is a lot of fear. I'm going to showcase some guys that have basically capitulated. And that's because they've fallen. They've fallen for the FUD. They heard everyone else talk about how the end is near and how we're in a bear market. But I'm going to tell you, I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not selling. This is through years of mistakes. And I've learned from them. So I'm going to teach you and tell you guys the whole story and hopefully convince you guys not to make the same mistakes I've made in the past and not to make the same mistakes others are making right now. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right. A lot of people tuning in. I know there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of talk about a bloody Sunday tomorrow, which may happen. But it hasn't happened yet. And just like the video I showed you guys this morning about how more loss more loss has come from people anticipating a dip than the dips themselves. That could be what's going to happen tomorrow. But all right, tonight I'm going to give you guys some real talk here. I want to give you guys some real talk because there's just too many paper hands, and the paper hands are really ruining it for everyone else, really causing doubt for everyone else. And I gotta just address a lot of things. I gotta let a lot of things go and gotta tell you guys where I am, how I got here, and why I'm not selling. I'm not. And some people will say that it's ludicrous. Some people say you're insane. You're not listening to logic. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Exactly why I ignore all those things. Because I've learned from my past mistakes. First of all, people think that my title today, Bitcoin Capitulation, is coming. If you don't know what capitulation means, basically you're giving up. That everyone has basically sold and is waiting for the next dump. Basically, people are anticipating that the end is coming. Bitcoin is going to go a lot lower, and they have given up. That's what capitulation pretty much means. And today, I got caught off guard because people told me. People told me what happened. I'm not going to say that BitBoy capitulated, but this caught a lot of people by surprise when he said that he sold $2 million in altcoins. And listening to this, his real reasoning is because on Market Cypher, it showed a X on the daily, right? And he was in groups and he talked to people about Bloody Sunday and how it's coming, right? He didn't completely capitulate, but I do think that the fear also got to Ben. But it's not just him. People just pointed out. Benjamin Cohen, a very well-respected TA guy, maybe one of the most respected. He just turned bearish. He's calling Bitcoin is in a bear market. He expects Bitcoin to go down a lot more. He expects that we're just going to see consolidation for a while. I've been saying that too, that we could see that, but he's calling it a bear market right now. And not only that, some of the other guys, people have told me this, Tech Lead, right? He's not even a crypto guy. And he declared that he sold all his Bitcoins. So obviously he did. Graham Stephan, why I'm selling Bitcoin. Some of you guys know him. Not a Bitcoin crypto guy, but him and Kevin and all these guys have just literally jumped into crypto because it's good marketing. It's good for views. So look at all these videos. Before, he hardly talked about crypto. Now, every single video is about crypto. And now, of course, he's creating FUD titles like why you regret buying crypto in 2021 and why I'm selling Bitcoin. And even, of course, I'm not even going to talk about the moon because every single thumbnail of his looks like the end of the world is coming. But you do get a bonus on Bybit, though. You know, that's the good thing. Even though the world is coming to an end, you get a bonus on Bybit. So no worries there. So here's the thing. You know, it seems like today is one of those days where, you know, it's Memorial Weekend. It's Saturday. People are doing good or feeling good, trying to feel good. But it's hard to ignore that all your favorite YouTubers or influencers are now turning very bearish or have sold, right? And it could be a combination of everyone else telling them the same thing, and it's a group collective thought that, hey, we must go down, it's going to go down, tomorrow Bloody Sunday is going to be worse, and this and that and that. And it could also be because some of these guys have lived through 2017, 2018, right? There's always this fear, like PSDT, right? Yes. About, you know, maybe missing out, that maybe there's some critical thing that we don't know of, and the top has burst and the bubble has burst and we're coming down, right? So there's a lot of, whatever the reason, there's just a lot of fears, a lot of fear. And this is why I'm calling Bitcoin capitulation could be coming. It could be coming near, it could be right around the corner. It's coming, and that's because you're looking at it. Even some of these guys that has been in it, well, some of these guys haven't been in it for that long. I don't know about like Graham and Tech Investor. I don't know about them if they just jumped in recently. But some of these guys like Ben and Benjamin and Carl, you know, they've been around for a while, and even, you know, it seems like they're a little bearish too, right? So what's the thing here? What do I want to get off my chest? I'm not selling. I'm not selling at all. And some people have claimed that I have been the biggest hopium, you know, I run the biggest hopium channel, and I only talk about what's coming, and I never really focus on the downs and stuff. I mean, I do tell you guys the best time to buy is when things are down, right? But people claim that, hey, you know what? You've been wrong. I have been wrong. I am a human. I'm not God. If I was God, I would have all the money in the world already, or I wouldn't even need money. That's really silly, right? No one is 100%. But the naysayers, the ones that have lost the most money, of course, they're going to be spreading that FUD, and they're going to call out everyone else except themselves. Because no one likes to blame themselves. Everyone likes to blame everything else. They'll say, oh, you said this, so I blindly followed you, yet totally ignoring the fact that you blinded followed someone, right? No one is perfect. They're giving you advice, right? Giving you guidance, but you know, you have to make your own decisions. It's your own money. This is why I don't show my portfolio. I don't let people copy trade me, because I want people to make their own decisions. This is the reason why I don't. But I tell you guys, I'm pretty transparent about the ones I love, the ones I hold, right? But ultimately, it's up to you to decide what to do. But here's the thing. I feel like, you know how like a lot of guys on YouTube, right? They have to flaunt their wealth. And I kind of get why now, because I've been getting questions like, hey, why should we follow you? It doesn't seem like you're better off than us. It doesn't seem like you have accomplished anything. So why should we listen to you? Well, here's the thing. I try to be modest. I try to live a modest lifestyle, right? But I'll tell you, I've attained that life-changing wealth. What I've been telling you guys about dollar cost average and holding and achieving life-changing wealth, I have achieved it. And I have achieved it not through some prestigious job or some prestigious business. I've attained it by buying low and holding, okay? So I'll tell you that. But if I was in a mansion and I was in my Lambo and streaming, maybe that would add some more credibility. But I just find that very distasteful. I don't feel like I need to do that, okay? But I think some of you guys would probably be more impressed and maybe will listen more by if I did that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, okay? But I will tell you, even in 2017, I led a lot of people upwards. A lot of people listened, paid attention, right? And I know that when 2018 came around and things went down, yeah, you know what? I made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. You know, I myself tried to swing trade and day trade. I tried leverage. I tried every single thing. I tried flip-flopping between Bitcoin and altcoins and back to Bitcoin and stuff like that. But I made all the mistakes, the things that I've been telling guys to kind of avoid. And I came up with the 50-25-25 rule also during this time. But the one thing that wasn't a mistake, I guess, is that even though some people held, right? And I did the same thing, even going down. And I know that sounds really bad, even from 20,000 all the way down to 3,100. What I did was continue to buy and I continued to hold, right? And I did that. I did that painfully for 3 years. Okay. I continued to dollar cost average and hold. And despite the fact there were times where things went down and it was just really, 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 really bad. And people are like, you're nothing but hopium, right? You don't know what you're talking about. You know what? Those people that listen to me, and a lot of them are in my Patreon group right now, they're all freaking multimillionaires now. Okay? I know. They tell me. They thank me. And these are the guys that are just like you guys that are coming in new. You have a normal job. You put in a whatever you can afford. And those guys that held strong over 3 years, they're the multimillionaires of today. And I'm not talking about like Da Vinci who bought Bitcoin at, $1 or $10. These are guys that bought Cardano for like a cent and bought even others like Ethereum at $200, $300, right? And other guys that even got in late. You could have bought in Binance Coin for a few dollars. There's so much that you could have bought at the bottom, which is what I did. And I continued to buy, and I continued to buy. And I made that life-changing wealth, although I don't flaunt it. So this is why I stress what I stress. The strategies I stress. And it's really simple. It's really simple because I made so many mistakes. I tried to do the charting thing. I tried to follow TA guys. I tried to do TA myself, right? And TA works, I'll tell you, 50% of the time. And other 50% of the time, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the market is driven by a lot of fear and FOMO and external factors that you just can't plan, right? And I've tried so many things. And in the end, what I found was what made the most money was simply buying low and holding. That's it. A lot of traders will not tell you that. A lot of traders won't tell you that they made most of their money from just buying low and holding. And a lot of them won't tell you that had they just bought and held and not traded at all, they would have made a lot more. But some have told me that. And that's the thing. That's why I always stress, right? No one knows top or bottom. No one knows top or bottom. Okay? The only thing you could do is really sprout your buys, dollar cost average. Okay? You don't know if right now 34,000 is bottom, or maybe tomorrow goes to 30,000, or maybe some people are predicting 20,000. I don't think it's gonna come, but let's say tomorrow it falls to 20,000. What do? Do you panic sell at $20,000? No, you buy, right? That's a gift to you, right? We're basically resetting back to December, and that's really a gift for people that are coming in and basically missing out on one of the most tremendous gains that we've seen. And it's really a reset and it's a gift, right? So you still don't want to be panic selling. Panic selling is never a good idea. It's never a good idea. You sell when things are going up. And if you're saying, well, it's not going up, well, then you hodl some more. And you hodl and hodl until it does come up. So that's really the strategy. That's really it. You dollar cost average. You don't go all in at once. You sprout your buys. So in case it does go lower, you could buy a little more, buy a little more, buy a little more. That's really it. That's really it. And you hodl, right? That doesn't mean that you should do dollar cost average on some of these meme coins or deflationary coins that have no purpose. But if you're buying Bitcoin or you're buying Ethereum or you're buying Cardano or Binance Smart Chain or Binance Coin and some of these projects that have been around for the last 4 years and are continuing to execute and continuing to grow, then it's a pretty safe bet. It's not 100%, but it will be safer than buying Shiba and expecting it to still be around in 4 years, right? So there's a difference there, but still. right? This is why I stress what I stress, because it works. It had worked. It had worked it has worked for me for a while. You know, I didn't see the fruits of my labor until 2020 and 21, but still, you know what? I don't think I'm wrong. Maybe short term, yeah, short term. You know, some of my price predictions could be wrong, right? I had big hopes about options. I had big hopes about max paying at 50,000, right? It didn't come true. But does that mean dollar cost averaging or holding goes out the window? No. You know, it was just an observation, trying to make an educated guess. It was wrong. I've happened to be wrong many times. But what hasn't been wrong has been holding. That's the one thing that stays consistent. And every single person that has made a tremendous amount of money in crypto, all the billionaires, okay, just bought and hodled. That's it. They bought low and then they hodled. That's it. That's really all they did. And it seems like a simple strategy. It seems like you need to do more. It seems like you need to play catch up. It seems like, you know, there has to be more. You could outsmart the market. You're not. You're not going to outsmart the market. The market, especially crypto, is so volatile and moves in so many directions all the time. You're not going to outsmart it. I don't care what anyone says. Even if the moon tells you there's a double death cross coming, okay? Even if he tells you for sure that there is a double death cross and that we're going to drop down to zero, right? You know what? It's 50-50. That's not a certainty, right? What is certain is if you use his Bybit link, he's going to make money. That is certain for sure. But in terms of the direction, it's 50-50. So look at all the very famous investors out there, okay? Even though we don't like Warren Buffett, I know, in crypto because he's not a fan of Bitcoin, but his strategy has, how could he argue with, someone that's worth $100 billion? Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. That's what we're seeing right now, right? That's why I'm talking about capitulation, because it seems like today, especially, you have a few big YouTubers that seems to be fearful. You have some other YouTubers that have been fearful for a long time, right? And it just seems like it's compounding. You have a lot of people that are very, very negative now, especially in the live chat and comments and Twitter, especially Twitter. Not just with me, with everyone else. Everyone is antsy and emotional and really nasty to each other, right? That's how you could tell capitulation is coming. Maybe not right now. Maybe we do go down a little more before capitulation happens, right? But it is going to happen. And this is at the point when retail investors, the ones that came in, they're like, screw it. I'm not going to make my millions next week, so I'm going to sell out, right? But when that happens, the long-term holders, the actual investors in the market, they will stay around and they will keep buying, and then they will reap the benefits. Like I have. And like so many others that have, just by following the same strategy, right? And it's not just Warren Buffett. I mean, you guys heard these streets before. The safe time to invest is when there's blood in the streets. What is it? Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if the blood is your own. Baron Rothschild. Not that people really like the guy, but still, I think that's relevant. Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if the blood is your own. Right? So, that's really what I want to get off my chest, okay? There's a lot of negativity, I know. I do my best at trying to present the facts. I do think that the bull run is nowhere close to top. I do think that the manipulation I've been talking about is real. I do think that the big banks and institutions are causing a lot of what we're seeing right now, because they do want to get in. I believe all of that. I don't believe we're in a bear market, okay? And I do believe this strategy works, that you simply buy the dips and you hold them, right? And you don't want to invest more than what you can afford to lose. That's number one. I had someone argue today with me, well, George, if I don't have capital, how am I going to play crypto, right? I need to borrow to buy crypto. No. If you have to borrow to buy crypto, then you shouldn't be in crypto at all. So that's number one. Don't invest more than what you can afford to lose. And number two is, you know what? Be diversified. Be diversified. Make sure you're holding on Bitcoin, big caps, small caps. I think diversification really helps in all situations. But I know many have also commented, hey, I'm down 70 or 80%, right? So I'm losing, I'm bleeding out. Well, that's because they held no Bitcoins to begin with. So I think that's also important. But the most important thing is you don't want to panic sell, because if you do that, you can't recover. You don't want to take risks with leverage or borrow against your collateral. That's also investing more than what you can afford to lose. I get emails daily from people. I got one today. Someone that lost 80,000 due to leverage, and they're asking for help, right? They brought it upon themselves. It's a sad story, but they did. Don't do it. Don't do it, right? And the most important thing is basically you buy low and you HODL and you sell high. That's really it. That's really it. All right, guys. Whew. Whew. I'm sweating from this. All right, I'll turn to you guys. You know what? Bitcoin is at 34,000, right? A lot of people are expecting like some doomsday drop tomorrow. And it may be a self-fulfilling prophecy because so many people are selling ahead of time, trying to prevent, massive losses. And if everyone's selling at the same time, it may just become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we'll see. We'll see. It could happen, and it could not happen. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe we have a big rally tomorrow. We don't know. Everyone is really guessing at this point. But if it does happen, it'll be a great, great, great buying opportunity. That's, in my mind, it's a buying opportunity. All right. So that's it. That's it. Whew. Whew. Aeon says I should interview Robert Kiyosaki. I'd love to interview him. I would love to interview him. Zerman says a big super chat. George, 100% right. Yeah, Sean. I appreciate the support. I really do. Frank asks, do you believe Chinese miners are being forced to sell their coins at a discount? If so, how long will it work through the supply? I don't know if they're being forced to. Maybe they're getting out of the regions that are being more strict with mining, so they're selling temporarily, right? I don't know if they're being forced to sell at a discount, but I do anticipate that Bitcoin will stay. Even if China completely exits, it will stay. I think a lot of miners are moving out. I think the hash power is going to increase in other countries. And you know what? If anything, it's a temporary setback. That's how I view it. John David says a crypto miner from Canada holding millions of crypto, 80% net worth since 2017, not selling now. Simple logic, I missed the local top, but will be worth 120 before next halving. That's the right way to do it. I mean, if you're a long-term holder, right, you don't focus just on this cycle. You focus on the next cycle, because quite honestly, these cycles, 4 years, they may seem like forever, but it's really not. I remember 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 very, very vividly. Like it was almost yesterday. I remember it very vividly. I can't believe that 4 years have passed already, right? So the next 4 years will come just as quick. Just as quick. Doge made me rich. So if I wanted to move half my coins to USDT and buy back on a dip, would you recommend that? Well, that's basically you're selling. That's basically you're selling. You're anticipating. You're selling. If you're in the green, that's okay. If you're in the red and you're selling because you're hoping to buy it back lower, it could work out or it could not work out. If that drop doesn't come and things recover, then you have to buy back and you have less crypto. So just think about that. 8-minute mile, XLM, XRP. I don't know. I think they're both neutral in my opinion. XRP will probably pump if they settle the SEC lawsuit. XLM, a little more interesting with DeFi recently. I'm not calling these guys out, other than maybe the Moon because of how much he shows Bybit. But everyone else, I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And like I said, people's opinions and I mean people's decisions are driven probably by living through 2017 and 2018, and also maybe driven by what other people are saying, right? I know everyone listens to everyone. Everyone's like trying to get 100 different opinions, and it could be that. Doesn't mean that they are fully capitulated or totally fearful, but they're trying to protect what they have. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're trying to protect your wealth, that's probably number one, right? That's probably number one. But I'm just telling you, for me, I have lived through many of this many times, and you know what? My strategy has worked. You know, it has worked, and that's what I preach. And I do think it's a very simple strategy, just with a few little things to watch out for, and I think everyone could do it. I think everyone could do it. I only fear when you drink Jim Beam. Stick to scotch, please. Thank you. Think about all CEOs probably leaving cash in USD, so you can't see it right now. Probably. Jordan says, thanks for not spreading FUD. Yeah, I'm not. Really not. I'm probably one of the new people entering crypto, but in January 2020. I mean, if you're in 2020, just this morning when I did my video going back 3 months, a lot of altcoins are still up, since 3 months ago. So if you got in January, you're probably still doing pretty well. BTC day chart, MACD still showing signs of bullish, not bearish. Do you ever look at MACD? I do, amateur TA, but yeah, I do. I look at a couple things. There's way too many lines here, but golden cross, death cross, and also the 50 SMA. So you look at this, and first of all, we're nowhere close to, on the weekly, to like a death cross or anything. And even if you go to the day, right? We formed a golden cross here. The death cross, even though it's coming, but we're nowhere close to it yet. We're nowhere close to it. And I was paying attention to what Benjamin Cohen saying, because he was looking at only basically the 20 and the 21 EMA or SMA, and he was saying how because Bitcoin he was looking at this chart, and he was saying, Bitcoin has never crossed down and still be considered a bull market. I mean, his definition of bear market is when Bitcoin crosses below the 20 EMA or SMA on the weekly, right? And he makes an example how in 2017 you would see how it hits it, but never really goes below, and then it continues rise. Although if you zoom in, there has been periods where it did break through it. It's hard to see. So his thing is, well, right now Bitcoin is clearly below, so we're in a bear market, right? And he doesn't believe that it could be a V shape, and he believes it's just gonna go down like a U and go down like here, which is like 20 or below. But here's the thing. While he was explaining that, he just blatantly ignored this. He blatantly ignored it. I don't know why. Hey, this time, and this was March, this was pandemic time, Bitcoin was above the 21 EMA. It broke down drastically. You could argue that was also a bear market, or even a more bearish market, because at that point it was still considered a bear market. And guess what happened? Bitcoin recovered. It took some time. I mean, it wasn't an instant recovery. This was from March all the way to May. So it took 2 months to recover. And what happened afterwards? This. Basically a full year of rally, right? So had you just listened to this and thought, okay, maybe Bitcoin's going to go lower and keep going. No, it didn't. It recovered right back up and continued on, right? So just because something's a first or something like that, I mean, it doesn't mean that it has to be bad. Maybe this is a first where Bitcoin goes down a little bit. It doesn't mean that it has to be going downwards and being a bear market. There's no reason to think why we can't recover upwards. Maybe it just takes a few months, just like previous cycles, right? So I mean, I don't agree with his bear market assessment at all. But yeah, I mean, if you look at some of these things, I've noticed like Alicio also talk about this. I don't know if it's him or someone else. Like you look at MACD on the weekly, Bitcoin's MACD on the weekly has never been this low ever in history. Okay, so I'm moving my camera. You could see here, even in 2017 and 18 when Bitcoin fell down, look at a MACD now versus previous times. MACD has never been at negative, basically almost 4,000, right? This to me it looks like it's pretty darn close, or at peak in terms of this flipping around, right? You could argue that RSI could go a little bit lower. Sure, it could go lower if you're looking at this, right? You could see here, RSI almost hit 30. Over here, RSI did hit 30 and so forth, right? But it could very easily turn around too. It doesn't have to go that low. But MACD, what someone was saying, this is extremely low, all-time low. This has never been this high before. So that could be seen as a bullish thing. So I mean, there's so many things that could be interpreted bullish or bearish, but here's the thing: things could move really, really quickly, upwards or downwards. Right? TA works 50% of the time. The other 50% it doesn't, because there's so much FOMO and FUD and external factors that's really driving things. Please answer this. Is this your last meal? I have my dinner already. Brad, thank you for DCA. Yeah, I answered that already. Have you heard of this HODL token? Very unique tokenomic. No, it just sounds like it's a gimmick. David, I appreciate that. Thomas, how can people believe any of the FUD after the FUD from media of the last 4 years? I mean, it's natural, right? People get scared. They listen to 100 other people talk about it. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard sometimes to ignore that. I get it, especially people that made a lot. Also, I get the fact that they're trying to preserve wealth. I think that's also the thing too. There's a lot of people that has been around for a long time. They have accumulated that wealth and they want to preserve that. So I totally get it. That comes to my mind too, right? But then I think about, how did I attain that wealth? Through a simple strategy. Now, if this was like November, December, right? And fundamentally something has changed. We don't have inflation. The big boys are no longer interested. In fact, not only they're not interested, they're starting to sell Bitcoin. When the fundamentals have really changed, then I think it's important to evaluate. But right now, none of that happened. The only thing that happened was Elon started causing FUD about environmental concerns. Then you have more FUD out of China. Then you have IRS FUD. And you have FUD from just people that are getting fearful. And everyone claiming that the end is near. So, I mean, fundamentals didn't change. It's just that there's a lot more FUD now. That's really it. I mean, Max Kaiser, Max Kaiser is someone that, again, no one knows how wealthy he is. He claims he's a billionaire. I don't doubt that, because he got in Bitcoin at $1. He gifted Alex Jones 10,000 Bitcoins, which Alex Jones lost, right? So I have no doubt that he's a billionaire, and he lives a modest lifestyle. His podcast room is just a normal bookshelf room, or a room with bookshelves, I should say. But you know what? The only thing he really did was buy and HODL. That's really it. I know he's not a fan of altcoins, but I think even he will change his tune, because I think DeFi is just something that you can't ignore. DeFi is going to stay. It will evolve, and it's going to get better. 20 bucks for a super chat. That was your response. Can you answer my question? My question is no. No, I don't like it, and I don't want to see it, Tom. So I'm sorry that you wasted another $20. I'm not going to look at projects that I feel like are scams. the only purpose to them is to be deflationary, get people to buy it with no utility. Did I ever talk to IOTA people? I did reach out to them, and it took them a while to reach back out to me. So we'll see if we can make something happen. I still want them to be part of the Vegas conference in October, but I would like to talk to them first, and we'll see what happens. David asked me about Happy. Happy is like an Oracle security thing. It's meant for messages for security breaches and stuff like that, which is a good idea, but you could program, Chainlink to do the same thing. So I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on it. Craig, these up and downs happen in stocks. I had Netflix, Amazon when sheep got scared. Yeah, that's right. I've created a journey video before. I've lived through those too. I'm old enough where, yeah, I've lived through a dot-com bubble. I lived through the housing bubble, and I got wrecked both times. Had I held and hodled Amazon at $60, had I hodled Apple at like $2, and had I hodled Microsoft, I don't even know when. I don't even remember because I got in so early. And I held those, I would have made multi-millions from them too, right? Despite the fact there's a lot of FUD, there's a lot of up and downs, right? But, when you pick the winners and you stick with them, they will survive. They will continue and thrive, right? Kind of in crypto right now, I know, there's no sure thing. Is it a sure thing that Ethereum or Cardano is sure winners? Are they going to be around in 5 years? Well, no one really knows, but they definitely have the loyal support base. They have the development efforts. They have the DeFi, at least Ethereum right now does, right? That's really carrying them. So is it more likely that they're going to be around versus, Shiba or SafeMoon? Yeah. So you pick the winners, right? And you stick with them. Stacks, programming language on top of Bitcoin, they have some traction. I just don't know if that's the right move when you have so many other chains out there that does the same thing. Digital bond market, it's not my forte, so I can't really talk about that, Chris. Any new news on AMP? There's a few I didn't cover. I don't remember. They made another partnership or something. A few more retailers joined up, but I don't remember which ones. So, what do you think about Matic with ETH 2.0? I think up until then, Matic will continue to build their ecosystem, and if they get enough projects on board, they can operate as their own chain. They don't have to be reliant on Matic. On Ethereum. But we'll see. They have a lot of projects coming on board already, exclusive ones, and if they can continue to pull them in, then they'll be fine. All right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna let you guys go get your Saturday back, right? Overall, I think there's a lot of people anticipating that there could be a doomsday drop tomorrow, a bloody Sunday. The funny thing is, we did have a drop last Sunday, but then I went back a couple other Sundays and nothing happened. So it happened once, and then now people are just expecting that it has to happen. And maybe because of that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe we do have a doomsday drop tomorrow. But even so, I'm not selling, and I'm going to take it as a buying opportunity because this strategy has worked. Doesn't mean that every single drop you buy in, right? You sprout your buys, set a schedule for yourself. Maybe when Bitcoin goes down 15, 20%, you buy a little bit in. It goes down another 15, 20%, you buy a little bit in. And spread out your buys. And it could be the same with big caps, altcoins too, right? But that is my strategy. I'm not deviating from that. Whatever I have in the markets is going to stick around. I don't need it. I don't need it to survive. I'm not investing more than what I can afford to lose. And if that's not the case, then you're not doing it right. If you're highly leveraged right now and you're panicking, or if you're being margin called right now because you put down collateral and borrowed against it, you're probably sweating too. So, or you're putting everything on a credit card, that's also bad. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Never do that. And make sure that you're actually investing to attain that life-changing wealth, right? That's what you're aiming for. You're not aiming for quick bucks or to make $1 million by next year, right? Well, maybe you could do it next year, but not by next month or next week, right? Crypto is fast, but it's also harsh. It's not an easy game. There will be up and downs. It will come. There will be days where it's bad. There will be weeks. There could be months where it's bad. But things tend to always turn around sooner than you expected. And most of the time, it's not as bad as you think. So stick with me, my friends. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.